Now, between the farmer, the farm gate as they call it, and the retailer, I can understand the cost moving up. There is marketing cost, there is some profit which the middlemen will make, there is transportation cost. So it can't be identical. But between even the wholesale mandis and the retailer, what is the management that we are having? And this is also a responsibility of the state governments, I can see. There have been products, your own figures of the core group are that between the mandis and the retailer, the markup, because the vegetables cost going up recently, in potato was as high as 88%. In onions, it was 126%. And amongst the vegetables, these are the two most valuable vegetables as far as the common consumer is concerned. Sir, I think the government needs to have a little compassion as far as the consumer is concerned, as far as the ordinary citizen is concerned. After all, what is this unprecedented price rise of general inflation over 10% moving up, food inflation going up to 23%, then coming down, and our sense of satisfaction is, oh, now it's only 12%. 12% is a very high rate of inflation. And therefore, the net effect of it is, it becomes like an unlegislated tax as far as the common man is concerned. A part of his pocket and what's therein gets chipped as far as the common citizen is concerned. The moment it is 15% or 20% or anything more than 10%, his purchasing power to that extent is eroded. If he has to buy dal, it is less. If he has to buy roti, it is less. In fact, when food prices grow up by 10 to 20%, in Indian culture and society, the sense of satisfaction used to be that I have my first income in the family. At least the dal roti is taken care of. This dal roti also gets snatched when inflation and price rise is of this kind. The entire purchasing capacity of the consumer gets completely eroded and disturbed by this. For those, the pensioners, the salaried people, the lower middle class people who may have some savings for bad times, for old age, the value of the interest that you get is today much lower than the value of inflation, the rise of inflation. Your savings are getting eroded. The effect of all this is that it affects every citizen. As far as the larger economy is concerned, the Prime Minister knows better than any one of us. An inflationary expectation leads to a situation where you don't want to spend more at this time. You want to save for your bad day. And therefore this affects in the long run your entire growth rates. Products of inflationary countries and the other countries in the world don't have that level of inflation which we have. That's why I didn't reach United States or Western Europe inflations. The countries we are competing with, which are similarly placed, our products in an inflationary economy are going to cost more than their products. It's entirely going to affect each and every aspect as far as our economy is concerned. And then, sir, the wealthier can always hedge inflation. They know how to get resources. The poor man's ability to even avoid it doesn't exist. Inequity and inequalities in society therefore go up. They get to, they are affected much worse than this. What do we, sir, do under these circumstances? Governmental statistics are not giving us much satisfaction. We are still in the government depending on the old concept of the wholesale price index. And this 10% plus inflation today, 10 to 11%, is the wholesale price index. Most countries in the world have done away with this wholesale price index. It is not a true and honest reflection of the prices at which you get products in the market. The consumer price index of various categories whether for industrial workers or for others, is closer to truth, if not the entire truth. But this WPI figure that we are regularly releasing is no representative of what the exact position of price rise is. We've urged the finance minister earlier, I am again urging him that at least this is one change he wants to bring about. At least the country must know the truth of where we stand. People with little or inadequate money in their pocket must know where they are in a position to spend. Sir, as I said in the beginning, each and every alibi that the government has been giving seems inadequate. You have buffer. It's not food shortages which have caused this price rise. It's your management which has caused this price rise. The international oil prices went up to $142 at one stage. In the last 1 year, they are in the range, when in the last 14 months of this UPA 2, they are in this $75 range. They haven't risen abnormally, so don't blame the oil prices. Your taxes on those oil prices is going up. And that's what's hurting the consumer. That there is a global inflation, the global figures don't seem to suggest that. And therefore, these poor alibis are not a substitute, as I said, to the tears and the hunger of the common man. Sir, what is at stake today is a lot more. When this government was voted to power, we had expectations that this will be a more stable government and therefore a more decisive government. Your government also said with a sense of smile, we don't have to depend on the crutches of the left now, and therefore we can independently take decisions. But what has happened in the last 14 months? The left has gone out, the country seems to be getting taken over by the extreme left, and the government is watching helplessly. So far, since 11th of June, we have not heard a single positive statement. What is your roadmap or thinking? How do you intend tackling the situation in the valley? Day after day, a scandal or a scam comes out. The arrogance of power may only give you one weapon in your hand, that we will teach the opposition by misusing this governmental authority or these governmental authorities. But these eventually become counterproductive. You can continue to punish us, but don't punish the common man. And at the end of the day, please realize the Honorable Prime Minister is here. With my utmost respect and affection for him, let me conclude by just saying, the credibility of the economists who administer this country's economy is today at stake. We want that credibility to remain, and I hope the government will take some decisive steps and come out of the kind of paralysis that has struck this government in various fields in the last 14 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Srimati Jayanti Natraj.